Digi-Dudes Manga.
I'm Billiam, and we are the Digi-Dudes.
I swear voice again.
Oh no. Alright guys, so this week's episode is a Patreon-sponsored episode by our patron War. So, if you guys want to know what that's about is, at one of our tier levels, you can pick the episode every month. It goes through a rotation of the members, and this month was Wars, and he wanted it on the history of... That's you.
The V Tamer Manga.
The V Tamer Manga, which we were really excited about that, because, number one, it's one I haven't read in a long time, and Digi-Dude hasn't read it all, so he was really excited about it, especially once he found out who the big villain is. Who's the villain of the manga? Digimon! Alright, speaking of Patreons, we have a special birthday shout-out right now. Happy belated birthday, because Digi-Dude getting sick, we ended up missing the actual birthday, but happy belated birthday to Digimon Tamer, also known as Ryan, our good friend. Right, Digi-Dude?
Yeah!
Happy birthday, bro. We actually participated in a hatch that he had started on his birthday. We had a lot of fun. There was a whole bunch of people there. We all got to raise various DMXs together, and that was a ton of fun. If you guys follow us on Instagram, you guys were following along and saw everybody's Digimon that we were raising. Alright, so now let's get into the squad update, and then we'll get into the manga itself. Squad update is, on my Pendulum 20th, I'm raising a Demon, because I thought it would be fitting for this episode to raise a Demon and be talking about Demon. Demon looks great here on the sprite, doesn't it, Digi-Dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. He looks all monstery and cool. Alright, so let's talk about the V Tamer manga. It's not something that's really well known in the general Digimon community. Some of you may never even heard of it before, and that's amazing, and I'm happy to be able to teach you about it. So the V Tamer manga actually came out well before the anime. The V Tamer manga came out alongside the V-Pets to help promote the V-Pets. V Tamer was actually originally published in V-Jump magazine, and it was a weekly chapter by chapter. In total, I believe there's 59 chapters, and then when they got brought into a regular manga volume, it ends up being 9 volumes in total and produced. Spanning from 1997 to the early 2000s is when it finally ended. So it went into the start of the actual anime, and this is where we first see Taichi. Right, Digi-Dude?
Yeah.
So Taichi looks a little different here, and he's definitely different than what we're used to in the anime.
Right now, his face looks exactly the same.
His face looks the same, but he's got that cool cape, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And his Digivice is completely different. And we're going to start talking about the Digivice in a little bit, but let's start with just going over the general story here. So, to bring you into the world here, Taichi is a kid living in Japan, very enthusiastic about Digimon and raising his virtual pets. He starts entering virtual pet tournaments, but he is denied because he has a strange Digimon on his V-Pet that no one's ever seen before. And then they considered it cheating and wouldn't let him participate in the tournament. So at the very end of the tournament, Taichi hangs around, watches it, and then he ends up fighting the champion of the tournament, Neo, to a draw. Which, if you guys know, and you're Digimon V-Pet fans like us, that's impossible. There's always going to be a winner when you battle these Digimon back and forth. There's never a draw in the way the system works. So they were both freaked out that there was a draw, and then now Taichi is sucked into his Digimon. And that's where we meet Taichi and his Digimon, who he named Zero Maru, which is a Vidramon, right, Digi-Dude?
Yeah, because I forget what I was named, I think.
Yeah, that's one thing I really like about the manga here, is that all the Digimon, in order to kind of make themselves different from each other, they all kind of give themselves names. So, like we already said just now, that Taichi calls his Vmon Zero Maru, or Zero for short. Taichi meets a Gabumon, who goes by the name of what, Digi-Dude?
Gabu.
Yep, Gabu. And then he ends up meeting a whole bunch of other Digimon.
Like Edamonkey.
Yep, there's an Edamon who goes by the name of Edamonkey. who he meets, and they'll have little takes and twists on their names that sounds very similar to their normal traditional Digimon name, but gives them their own identities. And I think that was really cool in the manga. These art styles here are really fun and very reminiscent of the late 90s art style for Japanese manga here. And I think they did a really cool job on it.
And it kind of looks like a cartoon.
It is very cartoony.
Or an anime.
Yes, I agree.
Or a kid's anime.
So,
Probably a kid's anime. Probably a kid's anime.
A kid's anime. It's kind of style. You're absolutely right, Debbie, dude. So then Taichi is now sucked into the digital world. Taichi and Zeromaru have never lost a battle. That is a constant thing that is brought up throughout the beginning of the manga, that they are boasting that they have a 100% win record. And that's what they're always going for, a 100% win record. These guys live for battling, and you could tell by reading the first few chapters of the manga that Taichi takes good care of raising Zeromaru. It's not just the fact that they talk about battling a lot, and they do battle, but they show Taichi taking care of him when he gets injured, finding medicines and giving him medicines. They also show him finding food together, and that actual VPET aspect really carries over into the manga, and I think it's great. One thing that I really love about this manga is that it takes place on the Folder continent. So if you guys know the VPATs there, the DMs, or the original brick style ones, like these guys over here, the original ones all take place on File Island. And that's where the original anime takes place on originally. And then this one takes place on the Folder continent. And that's where the pendulums over here are all from. Those two different styles are supposed to be two different parts of the digital world is where they're from. So then when Taichi first shows up, he starts encountering Digimon that are stronger than he's used to because he's on the Folder continent. And those pendulum devices, they can digivolve up to ultimate level, or mega for the dubs. And he starts encountering more stronger and stronger Digimon than what he's used to. And throughout his story here, he's had to fight through and get stronger with Zeromaru and build their bond up.
Because when I first saw Monkey, he wasn't even strong enough to even take a bruise on him.
You're right. That was something that was a big hit to Taichi and Zeromaru's confidence at first, is when Monkey shows up and they start fighting him, they weren't even able to lay a scratch on him. Because they played up the fact that he is a perfect level Digimon, or Ultimates for the dub, to be a big thing. Because in the original DMs, that was the final stage, was the ultimate level. So here, with Zeromaru being a adult level, they played it up it was a tough fight for him, and he wasn't even strong enough to win, and the only reason they got away is because Monkey let them get away. So who actually summoned Taichi to the digital world to help him, and why?
Holy Agumon.
Exactly. Holy Agumon brought Taichi to the digital world to try to help him and stop the evil of Demon. It's said that the god of the digital world has left, and Demon now is taking their old castle in the center of File Continent there. And, not File Continent, Folder Continent, sorry guys, is taking their castle and is trying to take over the whole continent now. And they needed a strong champion with a strong bond in order to defeat him. So they summoned Taichi. Now Taichi sets off on his quest to try to take down Demon, and throughout his quest he meets other Digimon, and then he learns that in order to enter the palace, the original Digimon God, who's not named, they just call him Digimon God, which now we all know him as Yggdrasil, set up a special protection where humans can't come into his castle because he didn't like humans. So he has hidden 5 tags around the Folder continent, and if you collect all 5 of these V tags, then you can get access to his castle. So that's what Taichi sets out to do. He starts encountering other Digimon, and he meets Lord Waymon, which is just a Waymon who's in charge of a certain part of the ocean. Also, and he just has the title of Lord, is why he's called Lord Waymon. And he's the one who gives Taichi what? Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't read that far up into the manga yet. He's the one who actually gives Taichi his Digivice. And that's where he gets his Digivice from. So, in this manga, the Digivice is completely different than what we know as the first Digivice, as in here, the D2. And if you're wondering why this was always called the D2, and then the one after that from Adventure 02 called the D3, it's because it originally started in this manga with what they called the Digivice 01, the first Digivice. And it was actually worn on his wrist as kind of like a watch. You guys can see it here up on the screen. And it actually did stuff. That's one thing I don't like about the original anime, is that the Digivice didn't do anything for them except connect their bond between them and their partners. In this one, it connects the bond between the two, but he's also able to tell his commands and thoughts directly into Zeromaru, where Zeromaru can just hear them. Because in this manga, Taichi strategizes and tells Zero how to fight, and Zero listens to his instructions in order to win. And it's a lot to the battles besides just straightforward back and forth punching and kicking, hitting energy blasts, fun that we normally know. But Taichi has a large aspect of the battle that he inputs into. And this Digivice helps him relay his commands to Zeromaru. It also allows him to heal Zeromaru through the Digivice by providing him special herbs and stuff, and foods. And it basically works as the VPAT does as a Digivice. And I thought that was really cool. And I've always liked the look of this Digivice, but the fact that it actually helps him in a way really was cool for the times. Yes, Devi Dude.
I'm not asking a question, I'm just doing this.
So as Taichi and Zero start making their way through the digital world, and they start collecting these tags, they start taking down some of these perfect level Digimon that work for Digimon. And Digimon starts to, like who, Devi Dude?
Marine Digimon.
Yep, they fought a Marine Digimon. They also fought a Triceramon. And then now you gotta say Marine Digimon. Then Digimon realizes that this connection between humans and tamers there's more to it. So he brings in his own humans to work for him, and one of the tamers he brings in is Neo from the beginning of the manga, the tournament winner. And the whole reason Digimon, his whole evil plan that he's doing, is that he is creating his own artificial life form. It's not considered a Digimon, because it's not born like the normal way Digimon are, because Digimon's creating them. So it's an artificial digital life form, like the motorcycle that Byaosamon rides, and Grandy that Dukemon rides in the anime. Same concept. It's an artificial life form. And he decides that Neo would be the perfect tamer for him to bring out the true potential and strength of this Digimon. He also brings in Neo's sister and 3 other tamers too. And throughout this story, Taichi ends up battling these other kids, battling the armies of Digimon to the end. I don't want to spoil it there, so I'm just going to leave the story there because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, because it really is a great manga to read. And with the only being 9 volumes and like 59 chapters in total or something like that, it's pretty easy to run through them. I started printing them out here for Devi Dude, so Devi Dude is able to read them too, because Devi Dude, of course, wanted to read it, but I wasn't able to find it on any sites that were appropriate for Devi Dude. They had very inappropriate ads popping up all over the place on every one of the sites I found, so I just ended up copy-pasting and printing off the manga for Devi Dude. Ooh, perfect one to open up to, Devi Dude. Go back to that page. And right here, we can see the folder continent, and these are all the V tags they need to go around and collect. You see they're all scattered around, and that is the V tag right there. And that is where we get the inspiration for the tags and crests that we see in the anime, because it's taken from the manga as an idea.
There's a 5, like a here, like a here, like a here, like a here, like a here.
Yup. And Zero ends up digivolving throughout the mangas into more powerful Digimon and more powerful forms to fight him. But unlike the anime, he doesn't revert back just like the V-Pats do. The V-Pats, when you digivolve, that's your Digimon. Same thing with the way it works here in the manga. One thing I really like about... Yeah! One thing I really like about the manga is that it takes very heavily from the V-Pats. It uses the V-Pat lores that Bandai had already established going on in other mangas and magazines and stuff as part of promotional pieces, and just expands on that.
Check it out, Monkey.
It looks really cool. It's an Agumon. He's got himself a leather jacket here now instead. He's got some cool bracelets. I like this look for Agumon. Honestly, if this was just a permanent look for him, I think that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Another Digimon who looks different here, and that we're going to show off real quick, is Holy Agumon, or also known as Magnum Agumon for the dubs. This is his priest mode. This isn't something we see in the animes or see very often, period. So Holy Agumon has actually two forms. He's got priest mode, and then he's got his fighter mode. And we normally traditionally see him in fighter mode, and that's what we see in the anime also, is fighter mode. But this is Holy Agumon when he's just hanging out, being a good angel Digimon. This is what he looks like here. If you guys haven't read this before, I strongly suggest it. It's a really good read. It was released originally only in Japan, but it has been subbed over by fans. Obviously, it's in English because that's how we're reading it, but I'm assuming it's in other languages if you looked for it. It's been out for a long time. This is something that's pretty readily available on the internet. I just couldn't find any sites to read it without those horrible ads, those inappropriate ads all over the place. So I wasn't able to let Digi-Dude read it on his tablet, but I did start printing them out for him chapter by chapter to read, and you've had a really good time reading it so far, right, Digi-Dude?
Yeah.
Alright, so you as a new reader reading it for the first time, what are your opinions on it so far? You're like 5 chapters in.
Very awesome.
Very awesome?
Yeah.
What do you think of the characters so far?
Cool.
Cool? You like Zero as a partner for Taichi instead of Agumon? Or do you prefer Agumon?
I don't know. They're both pretty good for Taichi.
Agumon has a lot of personality aspects, same as Zero, but Zero has just a level of confidence that Agumon just doesn't have. Agumon's a confident Digimon in himself with Taichi's Agumon throughout all the animes and everything, but Zero knows he's the best. He knows he's the best. He's gonna win no matter what, and he has complete faith in his tamer, Taichi, and their bond is what makes them so strong.
And he's like this. All I do is win no matter what. I don't care if you're some kind of demon, I'll punch you in the face.
Exactly. They didn't care that Demon is an ultimate level Digimon or Mega for the dubs. They're like, this is the bad guy. He's creating this problem. We're going to go stop him right now. And they head right out of Holy Agumon's castle to go straight for battle. And everyone's just dumbfounded. They're like, what? So you don't care? He's like, no. And they're all trying to warn him how strong this Digimon is and his army is. And they're like, we don't care. We're going to win because that's what we do.
Like, all I do is win no matter what. I don't care if you're some kind of demon. Because all I do is win. I don't even care if you're some kind of school phantom. I'll punch you right in the face.
And that's one aspect I really love about this Taichi and Zero. It's just that level of confidence. They keep on going on constantly about having a 100% record. And I think that's so cool. Alright guys, so if you like what we do here, if you love Digimon as much as we do, make sure you Giga Blast that like button.
And touch the really
It means a lot to us. Thank you so much for everybody who watches, likes, comments, subscribes. You're all amazing. Again, this is a really cool manga. I strongly suggest going out and reading it. Special thank you to these awesome people over here, our Patreon supporters. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to continue the channel in the way it's been continuing and to grow, to make it better and better every episode. This is a Patreon-sponsored episode. So these guys over here, Ward, that guy over there, he picked the topic for this episode. So if you guys like this, if you guys want to pick your own topics for the episodes, go check out our Patreon. It's Digimon Tamer's birthday. So special happy birthday. If you guys want to be birthday shout-outs from me and Digi-Dude, go check out the Patreon. Alright guys, with that, as always, from me, my family, to you,